Hey, what's up everybody? It's Cody again here with another video, and as always, I am here to help you put your mind on the internet, use your mind to leverage the internet and make some money. So today's video is for my influencers. I know how hard it can be to be an influencer. It's not as easy as a lot of people think. So I created a pros and cons list of what it's like to be an influencer that basically survives off of brand sponsorships versus an influencer that has their own brand. So it's a short list, and if you guys enjoy this list and it helps you out some, then go ahead and like this video, share it, and subscribe, because it's gonna help me out. You know what I'm saying? It's a mutual exchange. I help you out a little bit, you help me out a little bit. Let's get right into it. So here are the pros and cons of being an influencer that relies on brand sponsorships, right? Let's start with the good things first. Number one, you have the opportunity to establish relationships with the companies that you work with. So whether they reached out to you or you reached out to them, you have the opportunity to take it past a paycheck and actually form working relationships with the people behind the wheel of the business, right? So get in contact and network with the social media manager of the companies that are reaching out to you, or the people in charge of PR, right? Because you can build those relationships and make your own industry friends that will help you capitalize on your audience in the future, and help you out in the future when you need something, and you can make those connections. Pro number two, you don't have to do all that much extra if all you're really doing is brand deals, because you're posting anyway. You're a creator, you're an influencer, you're gonna have to post anyway. So all you really need to do if you're a YouTuber is understand the brand deal, of course, and record that part into your video to fulfill the contract. Or if you're on Instagram, then make your post, whether it's a video or post, whatever, right? All you really have to do is include that little bit into what you're already doing. So it's not all that much extra work to actually fulfill the brand deal part, right? And I really struggled with this pros list for just doing brand deals, because it's really not the way to go in my opinion. You don't have a lot of pros just going this route, right? Like, if you're a YouTuber, you have the benefit of, YouTube ad revenue while also doing brand deals. And even that's shaky sometimes, because YouTube can decide to demonetize you whenever they feel like it. So I really tried to make it three. So the third one is, I guess it gives you psychological authority in your audience's eyes. When you see somebody doing a sponsored brand deal, you think, oh, they're sponsored, right? And that gives kind of the authority of this person really is who they say they are, and they are really impacting people, and they're really an influencer. So I guess that's pro number three. But I tried. But let's move on to the cons. So number one, you get a smaller piece of the pie at the end of the day. Brands are not going to pay you if they're not going to profit on the back end, right? They're not going to pay you $5,000 if they know they're only going to make 2,000. They're only likely to make 2,000 on the back end, right? So they are going to give you a smaller piece of the pie, right? And let's think about this, right? If a brand pays you $500 and they know that you're likely to make them $5,000, right? That's in revenue. They still want to profit at the end of the day, and most brands usually have anywhere between 20 to 40% profit margins. So they really need to get the most out of that. So they're typically not going to pay you as an influencer what you're fully worth, because they want to get the most out of you. And that's why, especially if you're a Black creator, you get those lowball deals. And of course you can negotiate and stuff like that, but still they are going to give you a smaller piece of the pie, because at the end of the day they need to make money too. It only makes sense. That's just business. Number two is, it requires more creative output. So what I mean by that is not that you have to put in extra creativity into creating your ad in your video or on your post, but it requires you to be consistently posting. And that ties into another one of the cons that I have listed here, and that is that your income is tied to your engagement. If you are not, Jenna Frooms made a video about it last year when she had over 3 million followers. She has over 4 million now, but she made a video about what the struggles of an influencer were. And one of the things that she said was, if your engagement is off, it feels like your boss just came into the room and is about to fire you, right? That's not a good feeling, and that is for an influencer with 3 million followers, right? Most of the people watching this video have tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of followers. She has millions, right? If your engagement is off, it feels like your boss just stepped into the room to fire you. That's not how you want to be living. So you want to separate your income from your engagement. So that's why I listed that as a con, because what if one month you get sick, like really sick, right? Or 1 month, it doesn't even have to be that drastic. What if 1 month you just don't feel like recording a video? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to record a video every week for the rest of your life? Like, no. Or at least you're not gonna want to, and that's why it requires more creative output, right? Also, the last con, and pretty much one of the most major ones to me, is limited scalability. There's only so many posts and so many ads you can do in a month, right? Or in any given period of time before your audience just kind of feels like they're being sold to nonstop and that you are a running infomercial. So the scalability on that is limited. It's also limited to how much you can post, right? Which is limited to how much creative output you can handle over a long period of time while maintaining a high engagement. And what I mean by scalability is the ability to replicate your processes at a high level to make more income. So if you're enjoying the video up until this point, go ahead and leave a comment with your struggles as an influencer, or what you think influencers could learn, right? If you're not an influencer. Well, let's get into the pros and cons list for owning your own brand as an influencer. So for pros, the number one thing is that you have full creative freedom, right? It's your brand, right? You're not restricted by YouTube's guidelines, right? It's a family channel. You don't have to do that, right? You're not restricted by worrying about if you say a certain word or look a certain way, they're going to demonetize your channel, right? If you are on Instagram, you don't have to constantly worry about the aesthetic for people and constantly having that output and pleasing everybody while not also feeling like you are pleasing yourself in the process, right? As a creator, if you're creating and you're not fulfilled, like, that hurts. Like, I feel you, I know, because I create Facebook ads for brands. If I feel like my creativity is limited, like very strictly limited, I still do my job, but I feel, like I feel like I'm doing it, but I don't really love it, so why am I doing it, right? And I think every influencer I know goes through that problem at least once in their career, usually more. But it's just kind of like, no, you are allowed to fully be whatever you want to be when you have your own brand, right? Because that runs straight through the brand. And I can make a whole video about the creative freedom that having your own brand gives you on multiple levels, right? Not even just through the brand, but on multiple levels. Number two, income is not tied to your time or engagement, right? Right now, if you are surviving on brand deals, your income is tied to your engagement, because if that engagement goes down, I saw a faceplant video. If you don't know faceplant, it's like this online series of people who, you know, were up really high and then fell smack down. You know, they started failing in life and then they got back up, right? I'll find the link for it and put it in the description below. It's a really nice series. One of the faceplant episodes was a YouTuber. I forgot her name. I forgot her name, but she was one of the biggest YouTubers in history, basically. Like, she was going hard, and this is like Obama era, right? And then she went from millions of views and hundreds of thousands of views on her videos, like every single time, to an algorithm shift to making like a few thousand views, right? So all those brand deals and sponsorships were gone. She would, and I'm talking about, this is not just like regular brand deals. This is, she was in the, what was it, Pets 2 movie or some Pets movie or something like that, or Ralph Breaks the Internet. Like, she was in these movies and meeting the president and like doing all these things. She was the top of the top influencer, and then her engagement went down and she couldn't recover it no matter what she tried, and so her income disappeared, right? When you have your own brand, your income is not tied to engagement. I know plenty of brands that I literally work with I've literally worked with brands that have damn near zero social media presence, or a very little one, or a very bad one, right? And very little engagement, but are making tens of thousands of dollars per month. So it's not tied to your engagement, and that's one of the biggest pros, is it removes some of the weight of like, oh, if I'm not engaged this month, I'm not making money. Like, no, like your channel's not making money, or your page is not making money, but you are still making money because you have a brand that is working for you. Number 3, this is the one, right? So you remember on the last cons list, I was talking about limited scalability. With a brand, if you're selling a product, you have unlimited scalability, right? If you're selling a product or a service, right? And why do you have unlimited scalability? For 2 reasons, right? Number 1 is you can sell as many products as you can sell. If you have enough inventory for 10 products, you can sell 10 products. If you have enough inventory for 10 million products, you can sell 10 million products, right? It doesn't stop. And the same thing with service and how it works. You might be confused on the service part, but the second thing that allows unlimited scalability is employees, right? You can't employ people to create your YouTube videos that do sponsorships, right? Because that's a personal brand, right? It's personal. But you can hire employees to ship your products, handle customer service, create all the creatives for it. You can literally sit back and have little to no involvement in a brand that is making you tens of thousands of dollars a month. Unlimited scalability. Do you think Jeff Bezos is in the factories? No, not unless he's just doing a walkthrough because he feels like it. Anyway, the last pro is you make more money at the end of the day when you grow your brand, and half of that is part of the unlimited scalability factor, but the other half is also you don't get the smaller piece of the pie, right? You now flip the switch, and now instead of the influencer, you are the producer, right? You are the brand, so you have the bigger piece of the pie now, right? So you are now paying other people smaller pieces of the pie to expand your brand, but at the end of the day, you keep the larger piece of pie. You get to have your cake and eat it too, right? So the cons list for having your own brand, I couldn't think of many, right? But I wanted to try to be fair, okay? So the one con I could come up with of owning your own brand is it requires a lot of upfront work, right? If you're already an influencer, you're already a creator, you're already pushing out content, you're already working hard, yes, creating a brand requires more time out of your day to really get all the systems in place. It is not easy, right? People try to make it seem easy. It's easier than it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but it's still not easy, right? You have to put systems in place, right? You have to not only create the systems, but you have to create the content that flows through the systems, right? So you need a website, but you need a properly converting website. You need creatives to keep your social media on point. You need advertising or marketing to reach people and get traffic to your site, right? And one day when you scale, you need better shipping options, right? You need to constantly be working with suppliers to make sure that your product is delivered on time and that is of the right quality, and you are constantly innovating, right? You need to hire people, right, eventually to offload some of the tasks so you can remove yourself from parts of the business, right? So it requires more time, but ultimately, in my opinion, it's way more worth it, it's way more sustainable, and you can create something that lasts a longer time, right? So I just want to end this video off with saying, I am not saying to not do brand deals as an influencer. You should still do brand deals, but at the same time, you should be creating your own brand, right? And that way you now move from this one source of income to two sources of income, right? Pull the pros from both, right? Have your own brand so you don't have to rely on brand deals. If a brand deal doesn't come through this month that you want to do, that's fine, right? Because you're not pressed for it, okay? You don't want to be pressed for the money, right? So, boom, 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 boom. What I recommend is using your brand deals as an investment to creating your brand, right? That way you don't have to start from zero, right? You at least have a little something and you can leverage that money into creating your brand and making sure that it's top tier. So yeah, that is brand deals versus brands. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little something. And if you are an influencer and you do have over 10,000 followers or subscribers, I do one-on-one coaching to help you turn your personal brand into a business and fully monetize your audience. And I'm doing free consultations for that. So you can go ahead and fill out the job form link that I leave in the description and apply for a free consultation. It's just gonna ask you a few questions about your page or your channel, and then go ahead and we'll take it from there. So if you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and show me all the love, show me all the support. I want it, I receive it, it makes me feel good. All right, but I will see you guys on the next video. Bada boom, bada bing, peace out, homies.